It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Northern Monk Brewing Company that's launched into Tesco, and this is called Tropical World Tropical IPA. It comes in at 6% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. Ingredients are water, malted barley, wheat, oats, maltodextrin, hops, natural flavours and yeast. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. It cost me in the region of £3.50 from Tesco. It's a new beer as of kind of mid to late February 2024. Northern Monk, one of the UK's innovative brewers, done some wonderful things in the brewing industry. Let's talk about the beer first. Whilst it's fresh in the glass, we got a one finger white head, good levels of carbonation, hazy straw coloured beer. In the sediment department, there's nothing in the way of sediment in the bottom of the glass. That's a look at the beer. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, it smells very tropical, very, very tropical. So, how I got hold of this beer, I went to Tesco's and hardly any of the beers were on the shelf. So I speak to one of the workers in Tesco. He goes and grabs a cage out the back, brings it all out, and he had to kind of like, the cage was split in apart almost. There was boxes wanted to fall on the floor. So he was kind of wrestling with his cage. He was opening boxes, pulling beers out, and I was putting it in my basket. Now he pulled out this Tropical World, and it was a bit of a struggle. He was kind of like putting his hand in the cage and struggling to pull this beer out, and he was having a real fight. And when he got it out, he went, "Yeah, do you want this one?" And I just kind of almost, and I'll be honest, I almost reluctantly went, "Yeah, I'll have that one." You know, the fight you put out to drag this beer out of the cage for me. The beer's not even on the shelf yet, and it ended up in my trolley. In all honesty, if it was on the shelf in the supermarket, it was just a case of me going, "Oh, we'll try this one," I probably wouldn't have put it in my basket. And that's where I want to start this review. Never in my wildest dreams would I have kind of ever thought that I would ever doubt a beer from Northern Monk. I've brewed with Northern Monk. I've brewed a beer with Hopsine at Northern Monk many years ago, and it was a great experience, and the beers were absolutely fantastic. But over the last year, they've brought beers out like kind of rocket lollies, lolly ice cream IPAs. We've got another one here, flake and sauce, which was, I found it awful. Like ice cream pale ales with flavourings and preservatives. No, I shouldn't say. Just like flavourings that I wouldn't necessarily want in my beer. And this has that very same. It smells like Kiora. It smells like concentrated orange squash. You know the pineapple and orange squash you can buy? It's like opening the cap on a concentrated, or maybe even triple concentrated orange and pineapple squash and sticking your nose into it. I don't necessarily want that in my beer. And for £3.50, yeah, I think I'll be looking elsewhere. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Squash. Alcoholic squash. They've worked out a way of producing alcoholic squash. That's like an orange and pineapple. If you're watching around Europe and America and you're wondering what squash is, it's a very typical UK thing where you put this concentrated syrup. Say this glass here from Cloudwater. You put about 1/4 of an inch of maybe 10 millimeters of concentrated squash in the glass, and you fill the rest with cold water, and you'd be left with this watery orange and pineapple, blackcurrant, if you want the blackcurrant, kind of. Lots of people buy it. It's a big thing in the UK. Drink. And this is just it. This is just this. This might as well be a glass of squash with a little drop of vodka poured into the bottom to make it alcohol, to make it alcoholic. It's not unpleasant. It's a bit sherbety, it's a bit sweet. Get a little bit of the malt coming through. Almost taste the headache. It's almost instant. I can almost, when I drink these beers with these kind of flavourings in them, I get a headache in the back of my head. And sipping this beer, I can almost feel it, like almost immediately travelling round to the back of my neck and giving me that neck ache headache. You know when you get that headache where you creak your neck, you're like, oh. This is almost immediately giving me that feeling. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna finish this, I'm not gonna drink it, I'm not gonna finish it. It's not for me. It really isn't for me. It's a shame because Northern Monk, they were, for me, you could absolutely bet your bottom dollar that Northern Monk, if you bought a beer from Northern Monk only 3-4 years ago, the beer was going to be absolutely magnificent. And for me, it's a little bit of a fall from grace. It's never too late. It's never too late. I think we can only look at companies like Tiny Rebel Brewing Company in Newport, South Wales. They seem to be turning to their original brews. They've just put Hadouken, which is one of their original kind of hazy IPAs, into the supermarket again. I think the time for these beers is over. I think they tried to get away with a few things here, a few breweries, and it's not really happened. I think I have a responsibility to say, if I drink beers like this, they give me a headache. If I drank that can, that would give me a headache. And as I mentioned earlier, if it wasn't for the fight for that Tesco worker pulling it out of a cage and putting it in my shopping basket, I wouldn't be reviewing this beer today. I wouldn't have bought it. Which is a shame, really. A real shame. Alcoholic, slightly malty, concentrated squash drink. Awful beer. 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.